can we trust you or your proof?
Well, Ju said that when she came into the city, the bridge was already broken, so what if they came to the city at the same time and it's not him? Have you thought about that? 14. The old days. People reminisce about the past, perhaps because they feel the present is getting worse.
What just ran out of there? That thing took away the lady. What's going on?
Jinyang's words dissipate in the air without stirring a response. The eyes of all stare at Getian in the center of the courtyard. Most of these are filled with doubt, suspicion, and fear. As a strange horse and its unwilling rider disappear in the distance, the communication arcane skill cast by the bone wand also seems to dissipate.
Now we lost another witness. Did you plan this?
I left my wand in her tavern yesterday. Ask her. You will know.
Jionyangzi, is that so?
We did find a bone in the yard, but it's with that foreign lady now.
Tie him up first. Do you have more to say?
Everything I need to tell you, I have spoken it all. Catch her now, or even a real Xiangrui cannot save you from the disaster.
Oh wow.
Why are you so obsessed with calling Jionyangzi the culprit?
What? You... I am the culprit? What kind of culprit am I?
It's fine, Jionyangzi. We all know you have nothing to do with the missing persons cases.
And he said that even a real Xiangrui cannot save you. He's more of a fake one to me.
Jinyangzi rushes angrily towards Getian, striding forward until she stands just before him, but in a rush of emotion, she loses her ability to speak.
You...
Stay calm. We will hold him in detention in Zhichi for now. I'll report this to the Fatzao. The first thing to do is catch up with the horse and the foreign lady, and find his wand to figure out his arcane skill.
The crowd quickly moves according to Li Zheng's command and exits the courtyard in an orderly fashion. Only a few scattered guards remain in the courtyard, along with the three figures located in the center. At this point, it would seem obvious that Getian must be taken away, but as Li Zheng has not yet ordered anything to that effect, no one dares step forward. For though subdued, his huge wings and claws still serve as effective deterrents.
Take him away. Everyone else dismissed. Jionyangzi, follow me. There's something we need to talk about.
What do you want, Featherman?
Jionyangzi?
You look like a decent Xiangrui. Why did you say something like that? Even if you're not, aren't you afraid that the real Xiangrui will blame you for doing the wrong thing?
The girl appears as though she has not heard Li Zheng's words. The doubt in her questions is conveyed in an almost whispered tone. Getian doesn't even lift his head. He remains motionless like a statue.
Jionyangzi, it is true that he is not the Xiangrui of our city. The Xiangrui who once protected our city has been long lost.
Jinyangzi turns her head, failing to connect the logic behind Li Zheng's statement.
But everyone thinks the Featherman on the mountain is the Xiangrui. Just look at him. How could people not take him as a Xiangrui by his look? The former Zhili told me that the Featherman looks like a Gomang, just like what was depicted in a picture book.
Gumong, the god of spring in ancient Chinese mythology, in charge of agriculture with wings and claws.
A Gomang is a confirmed Xiangrui recorded in a book.
Jionyangzi.
But this man, of course he is not a Xiangrui. He isn't like the Gomang, nor the Mianmeng. He doesn't even understand the saying of, one can remove the footsteps, but not the path one walketh on.
One can remove the footsteps, but not the path one walketh on. That's fair. One cannot commit wrongdoing without leaving a trace. However, we can't convict him without definitive evidence, such as witnesses and his wand. The trace he left is yet to be found.
Jinyangzi squats down in front of Getian in a sudden, inexplicable movement, then stares unwaveringly into his eyes as she speaks, as if she's to judge the authenticity of his words and expressions by doing so.
Featherman, do you know what is a real xiangrui? Do you know where it is? Why did you take people's friends away and accuse me of being the culprit?
But Getian seems to have made up his mind to remain silent. He lowers his head, taking a faint interest in observing the blood dripping from his wounds, an act of passive resistance. A drop of blood seeps into his feathers. The moment passes long enough for the girl to organize her words and continue her barrage of questions.
Your appearance is given by heaven, so you should not act against the nature of your look just because of your personal preference. You could have become a much-loved spirit, like in the stories and picture books, as everyone expects you to be.
You were not here when he did whatever he did. He is a very, very nice spirit, apparently.
But when you took away that foreign lady's teammates, you didn't care about their feelings. They didn't want to be separated. You disappointed people. That's not what a xiangrui should do.
All right, Jinyangzi. That's enough. Take him away.
Jinyangzi watches coldly as Getian is taken away.
He didn't tell me anything, nor did he tell anyone.
I know you're chasing after anything that could be a xiangrui, but the Feather Man has clearly claimed that he is not one. To be honest, judging from his attitude, he has never had the intention to be one.
I don't understand. How could he not want to be one?
Not everyone is so interested in the legend of xiangrui. The Pei City did have a good era under the protection of the xiangruis. But after all these years, no one can recall that time without the help of the mythologies and the history books. Even I can't be sure if there's a real xiangrui. But Jinyangzi, you should know that we don't need a xiangrui anymore.
We don't need it?
With no xiangrui, no divination, we can't arrive at Yun Temple. But this is still an orderly city. The Dushuo festival is as vibrant as ever. You can tell that a xiangrui is not necessary for a city to prosper.
Is that so?
Jinyangzi grasps the small bag she carries with her. The bag is embroidered with a peculiar combination of love poems, though she has never really understood the meaning of the words. In some way, they now mirror her own confused mind.
By the way, turns out you can read, can't you?
Huh? You know that I can't, Li Zheng.
One can remove the footsteps, but not the path one walketh on.
Oh, that's not what it seems to be. I heard it from the Taoist countless times, so I remembered it.
Which Taoist? In the city?
Jinyangzi shakes her head to refute Li Zheng's assumptions.
No, it was a Taoist I traveled with before I came to Pei City. The Taoist said many different things over and over again. I couldn't understand, but I remembered them.
Sounds like you had a distinguished teacher. Since you came here, you've been treating people nice and kindly. Exactly the opposite of what Getian has done.
Oh, he's being kind. You're the ones don't believe in him.
So his name is Getian?
Yes, Getian. You said too many things to him. He is not the xiangrui you are looking for. A real xiangrui would never be so rude. It is very possible that he is only a Yao that has been living on the mountain for too long.
Her head lowers, seeming to find it difficult to accept such a change in thought.
But why did he accuse me like that? I don't get it. Did I do something wrong?
You use water from the river.
Because you are the Zhili.
Jianyangzi looks at Li Jing, her face caught between doubt and curiosity. Having presented his point of view, the old man rubs his beard and laughs, knowingly helpless to influence the girl's reaction.
The former Zhili left because of what he said and did. Now he wants to play the same trick on you. What's more, when he got here and saw me, but not you, he acted quite surprised. You can tell from the details.
The thoughts behind her eyes grow more muddled. Such deceitful scheming felt too complicated for her to comprehend.
Oh, and that captured foreign lady, she...
Don't worry. There are people searching for them now. As for us, we should confirm the details for tomorrow's fortune walk and bridge leap.
Right, bridge leap. I almost forgot. If only the broken bridge could be fixed, then we wouldn't need those festive animals, nor to jump over the bridge. During Getian's silence, I was thinking that, what if I can go to the Yuan Temple and ask Zhishu the Guardian? If the legend of the divination is real, then whatever the question is, Zhishu will answer me, right?
I guess so.
The two of them walk indoors, their conversation disappearing from the courtyard under the sound of footsteps on hard stone. Within the pristine government office, two figures exchange information from their past few days so they might agree on their next course of action.
That is the whole story. Getian is now detained in Jitsu's dungeon. Jianyangzi is there as well. 4 hours ago, after discussing with the new Zhili, we decided to keep the ceremonies of fortune walk and bridge leap, but no colored animals are used this time. The number of animals will be less than those in previous years of Zhishi. Here's a list of ceremony members and funds. I've asked people to deliver the copies to all the streets.
Li Jing picks up a stack of papers from her desk and hands them out dutifully.
Thank you, sir.
This is my duty. As for Getian, we shall put him on hold until after the Dusho festival, according to the law.
One more thing. Have we found the horse and the proof?
Not yet. The horse taking that foreign lady away might still be under the control of Getian. There was no trace of them when our people chased them out of the city.
I understand. Given the road conditions in the morning rain, looks like we will have to continue with the search after it stops, but I don't think a horse carrying a blind woman can go far enough to escape. I'll lead the search squad myself next time.
Thank you, Fasao.
The imposing figure, with his back to the entryway, habitually presses down on the short sword at his waist, adjusting the position of a blade, then waves his hand again to show that he doesn't need to concern himself with such matters.
I'm only doing my job. Where is the Judy?
Are you referring to Jianyangzi or the former one?
The one who went back to her hometown.
We haven't heard anything from her yet. Perhaps it will come after the Dushuo festival.
Noted. Jianyangzi is still green, so please help me take care of the Jutsu before the former one comes back.
I will. She is kind-hearted. That is why I recommended her for this position. It will be my responsibility if she makes any mistakes.
Well, there are so many things to do before the new year. It's fine even if she makes a mistake or two. Don't push her too hard.
She looks young too, like...
That's what I thought. If you find any evidence, or the two foreigners, please let me know.
I didn't keep that in my mind. Fatzel rises nimbly while folding the documents. As he prepares to bid his farewell, he's stopped by Li Jing's raised hand.
Another thing. The New Year's feast tonight. You're welcome to Jianyangzi's tavern with your relatives.
The tavern? Are the people around the merchant's hub going too?
Yes. She is hosting a feast for the neighbors.
Something tells me everybody's going to turn into horses.
It is the New Year's Eve vigil, followed by the first day of Dushuo festival. It is an annual tradition at the tavern.
Shuori, the new year.
Aye, right. Another year of the Zhishi. Hopefully the Yuan Temple, which worships the Zhishi, will bring us good news.
Having said his piece, leaving only a moment of silence, the two of them look out the window toward the eaves of the broken bridge and the temple flickering in the misty rain. I haven't been able to read normally. Moving on, hollow-eyed, truth and reflection. The stripped horse with its red mane charges through the pouring rain carrying Basmert. All the way, it runs with wild abandon, as if afraid of possible pursuers behind them, and perhaps to prevent the person on its back from jumping off should it slow down.
Halt! Halt! Do you hear me?
The horse runs onward still, even striding several shallow depressions with ease before continuing forward. Seeing her words taking little effect, Basmert attempts to slow it down using her prior experience with horses. As she releases her breath, she lets go of the mane and replaces one hand in front of the creature's neck, while the other hand caresses the fore on both sides, adjusting to match the rhythm of its gallop.
Easy. Easy now. Good job.
After taking another deep breath, she seizes the opportunity to vault herself off the horse and tumble down in a quick movement. Basmert falls into the shallows just as she intended. The horse stops not far from where she lands and turns back. Ignoring the accumulated pain of new and old injuries, Basmert clambers out of the water, but her hands sink into the soft mud along the shallow shore. Though not as sticky as a swamp for a while, she finds it impossible to stand.
Madam! What? Is it you, Yenisei? Where are you?
In the halls. The familiar voice is certainly within earshot, but Basmert cannot place its direction, no matter how hard she strains. She struggles to lift herself out of the mud and falls again.
I'm sorry. Are you hurt?
Oh, she's so smart. But technically, because it's raining, anywhere that it created a puddle, she could just have stopped and shown her it was her.
I was so anxious. We must not let them catch us. I'm all right. I'm good. How did you... I am talking to you through the water. Please hurry up and get back on me. You've turned into a striped horse too? Or is this your arcane skill?
Ma'am, if that was her arcane skill, wouldn't you know already?
I am not a striped horse, madam. I'm a Lushu. Both of them are arcane creatures, but not the same kind. And yes, that's my arcane skill.
Wait, what? Wait a second. Is she saying that turning into a horse was part of her arcane skill right now? Anyway, maybe they'll explain.
I can show images and a few sounds through water. I cast it once when we passed by the swamp in Tula, remember?
What about the Lushu? What are they? Did Getian take you away and turn you into this?
That strange term she heard before all this began suddenly reappears in her mind. Basmert quickly associates it with the current situation.
The rain is making too much noise. I can't hear you or the surroundings. Get on my back. I'm not sure how far they are from us.
I don't hear any footsteps from grown men. Come here, child. Help me up.
Yenisei then steps closer and scoops Basmert out of the sinking shallows.
Thank you. So, what happened? The situation is getting trickier and trickier.
We made a mistake. Getian didn't turn me into a horse. On the contrary, he saved my life.
Then who was it? Who did this to you?
Jew.
You didn't drink any water last night, did you? But I did. Quite a lot. After you went into the room, Junangzi and I had a chat downstairs, and she gave me the water. This is the difference. Getian said her arcane skill was cast through liquids like water and liquor.
So she can control water as well, Ju.
My poor child.
I went upstairs after the chat. You must have been too tired to notice me at the time. I stayed in the room but couldn't sleep at all, so I went downstairs again. That was when I heard someone singing. That song. I'd never heard it before, and I had no idea what the lyrics were about. All I remember is that the melody was soft and a bit unusual. Then I found that someone was a group of wooden dolls. They were small and would melt when they touched liquor.
Yenisei extracts a frightening journey from her mind, trying as best as she can to narrate it back in a calm tone.
And there were horses in the yard, also humming the melody. They had red manes and red tails, just like what I look like now.
Oh, that's interesting. So she turned into a horse that looks like the horses in Ju's place. She didn't turn like this because she herself had red hair.
I didn't know they were loose shoes until now. Their stripes glowed under the moon.
But didn't you have a closer look at the Shuori last night?
I had no time to see it clearly, to be honest. Anyway, that chat I had with Junangzi was quite good. Everything felt so comforting at the time, so I don't understand.
Then, why are you different from the animals turned from Mr. Dorian and the others? You told me they only have stripes on them, right?
Yes, I have an assumption about that, but I can't verify it now.
What is it?
Yenisei falls into silent reflection for a moment before answering Basmet.
Remember the river our team found? Perhaps that was the lower course of the main river, and it included Junangzi's arcane power because the stream across her yard is near one of its branches. The running water might have diluted the arcane power in there.
Oh.
Usually, a stream of running water is like an independent settlement. It rejects outsiders by nature. Even I have been rejected more than once. The striped horses our teammates turned into could be an accident caused by an incomplete arcane skill.
Those other striped horses in the Jitsu, are they too...
Perhaps Junangzi had no idea at all that she somehow leaked her arcane skill into the river. As for the water I had, she must have made it on purpose.
I don't think she did it on purpose. Maybe just like she hasn't realized that her arcane power has got into the river, she doesn't know it affects any water she touches. Both of them sink into silence, made awkward by the revelation.
Then, how did Getian get involved in all this?
Last night, after he saved me from the wooden dolls...
The topic of the recollections, only just resumed, is again interrupted, this time by the sudden stopping of the rain. Yenisei looks up as if to confirm it has really ended. If the rain has stopped for good, this also means they'll need to keep moving to avoid being found.
The rain has stopped. We need to find shelter, madam.
No, child. I don't see why he had to take you away. What if I was there with you?
All I know is he was there to take us out of the danger. And he's injured now. When we confronted the people at the Yenisei, he didn't fight back at all. I think he didn't hurt them for a reason. If he really meant to help us, we must go save him.
Child, all of a sudden you seem to trust this creature entirely. Did he do anything else for you?
I mean, what else do you need? He literally saved her life, so it's a life for a life, is it not? I mean, not in the way that you take a life for a life, you give life for the life you were given. That's what I mean.
Based on what we know, Getian, Li Zhong, and Yenisei, they all seem strange.
Yeah, but Getian is not from here.
Please trust me, madam. I used to think this way too. Maybe he's fooling us with a fake rescue. But he's not. He even showed me his arcane skill to win my trust. Yes, he read my bones.
Oh, I thought he was only capable of reading bird bones, not the bones inside a person when he talks to them.
Can you imagine that? He gained information by reading my bones. And then he actually told me something I didn't even know about myself.
Won't you tell us too? I'm curious. Number 16. See what I see. People trust their own judgment. It's no surprise. And we got a bottle here.
Let me go! Where are you taking me? You...
If I let go, you will fall, and death will be your end.
Well, you can take her down slowly then.
Hold your life dear. You are a lot more vulnerable than you can imagine.
Quit threatening me! It's a river down there!
Yes, but you don't know how shallow it is. Even a lantern can't float on it.
Damn.
It's dying, unlike the other branches you saw outside the city.
So what? Does that explain why you captured me? Fine. The river is dying. I'm held by a birdman in mid-air. I'll fall and die if I struggle. There's nothing I can do.
Yes, it's a rare wisdom for a girl of your age to know her limits. But I'm not a birdman. I'm a Yao.
Ah, okay, so now we know for sure what he is.
My name is Getian.
I mean, no, he did tell us he's a Getian, but he's also Yao. I'm guessing that a Yao is a bigger category of creatures, and Getian is the specific that he is. Yenisei gives up on her mid-air struggle, pondering over his name and identity.
You can use arcane skills. You're an arcanist.
If you say so, then it is so. We have gone for miles. I'll leave you here. Beyond the ford, you will see the step.
Getian slows down, just as he said he would, and after a moment he gently places Yenisei on the ground. Given her situation, she had not anticipated such gentle treatment.
I don't understand. What on earth is your purpose?
Saving people who are stupid?
Why did you turn humans into horses? I believe you could commit much worse crimes if you want to. Are you doing it for fun?
Getian stops to the side of a curved tree, growing like a bridge over the vines of a shallow stream, face heavy with a look of contemplation.
The more you ask, the more mistakes you make.
There is no such thing as a wrong question.
I will answer one of the questions regarding why I turned people into horses.
What?
The answer is I didn't do it.
Ah.
Neither did I have that intention.
Interesting. Who did it then?
The lady owner of the tavern.
Junangzi?
Precisely.
Yenisei shakes her head, not believing his words.
If that's the case, why did you leave Madame Besmert's there alone? Do you really think I would buy your nonsense after I saw you take my teammates away?
You saw the horse in the yard, with the red tail and red mane, did you not?
Yes, I saw.
It's not a horse, it's a lushu. Or at least it looks like one.
Lushu. I have never heard of it before. It sounds like an arcane creature native to the east.
Getian doesn't respond, he only continues to contribute yet more astonishing information.
It is a lushu. And also Jiu Niangzi herself.
Wait a sec. So, Jiu Niangzi is a lushu? A lushu that can turn to human, or that cannot go back to being a lushu and has to stay like a human? Explain.
What? That thing is Junangsi?
What you saw tonight was not real lushu. Those horses merely resembled half of them. I speak of the fact that Jiu Niangzi might be a lushu, a kind of yao, or as you would put it, an arcane creature.
Okay, I have deducted that Yao means mythological creature, and Lushu and Gutian are specific types of mythological creatures.
Your words sound even more complicated than those in the city.
To be fair, I've yet to look up the creatures because I don't want to get spoiled about anything. I recorded the video throughout several days, so I could have looked it up, but yeah, you understand. I want to experience the story and then look up anything that could potentially create a twist in the story if I look it up now.
Is it because you are also an arcane creature, like the Lushu? Or you have a thing only the pure-blooded can understand?
We're nothing alike. Lushus are xiangruis, born with red manes and white faces, covered with tiger's markings.
Oh, so this is interesting because Ju always wanted to find a xiangrui, right? She always wanted to experience them, to see them with her own eyes, and she's in fact one herself? Wow, so she's like, without knowing it, a protector of the city.
In the books, Lushus are capable of casting an arcane skill named the Shape of Will. It could be the same skill that Jiunyangzi uses to turn others into Lushus. Do you understand?
No, but I'm trying.
Yes, I'll try.
The Shape of Will is a dangerous and secret skill. As written in the books, the Lushus use it to transform blood into fire and stone into gold.
I doubt she knows what she's doing, though.
So, it's like alchemy.
I'm unfamiliar with what you said. Jiunyangzi's power seems to be restricted. She cannot fully transform into a Lushu like a Yao could, nor does she possess great power. She's closer to a half Yao.
Okay. So either her mama or papa, mated with a mythological creature. Okay.
Unlike other Lushus, she requires a certain medium to cast her skill, the Shape of Will. This is also why people did not recognize her. She's harder to identify.
Yenisei. Half Yao. Is that another name for the mixed blood?
I mean, if we were talking about arcanists and humans, probably that's what it means, but this one means, indeed, half mythological creature.
Anyway, even if you're telling the truth, how did you know that?
It is within my bloodline. Like you find your direction through the water, I read people through their bones.
How did you know my... Wait, you mean you can read people through their bones? That makes no sense. What can one's physical condition tell you?
Many stories, many sounds. Even if I was never there with them, such as you, the markings on your bones resemble an open net, yet it captures nothing. You are away from the waterless land where you once lived, and to this day you are still wandering.
What?
The girl's eyes widen with astonished disbelief.
You will travel far many times in life and turn homeward, like the migratory birds, until you find your lake.
What on earth are you talking about?
Have I mistaken anything? I should hope not. Forgive me. I have long since stopped reading others' bones and put them into words.
It's alright.
Perhaps I did not tell it in the most precise way, but it should be generally accurate.
Alright, stop. I need
A moment.
some time to digest your words.
A bizarre spectral sound cuts off Yenisei's reply.
Careful.
Strange creatures that resemble bulls, dragging long tails, suddenly leap out from the trees behind the two of them. They shriek and charge towards Yenisei, who is most evidently their target. Oh, it's them, Juye.
These things again! They already attacked me once in the street. These stupid birds!
Following closely behind is a mysterious creature markedly different from the other feathered bulls.
This one is shining bright! Get out of my way! Out!
It is indeed exceptionally bright and long, illuminating the shallow stream in front of them on both sides. Okay, I have to get rid of the thread and come back to you. I once again forgot to start recording again after the battle. Getian stares at the direction the scattered Juya ran off, his mind burdened with thought.
Have you drunk the liquor? Offered by 九娘子?
No, but I had the water from her. Why?
These Juye might be attracted here by the scent of liquor. They feed on the flowers of Juye, which can be used to make liquor and smell of leaves.
Oh, so their name is deriving from those flowers.
They could be here because they smelled the liquor. But you only had water. What else could attract them?
You? You're a bird too. Yenisei thinks back to the preceding events.
If they were attracted by the scent of liquor, I think it was the wooden doll's fault. They soaked themselves in the liquor before they attacked me. I might have gotten their scent during the battle.
The scent of liquor stands is not strong enough to attract them here. It would have taken a proper consumption of liquor for them to notice. I worry that liquor is the medium for her transformation skill, but that is only my speculation. If the water you drank also exerts the same effect on you.
As though his words hold the power of execution, the change happens the very moment he speaks.
What? You...
Yenisei kneels down and her body transforms just as her companions transformed on the steps before her.
How so?
It's surprising to me he got surprised, because he literally said that Jinyangzi can use her power through both liquor and water, and Yenisei did have water from her. Although Getian had already anticipated this moment, he cannot help but be startled by the strange process and flaps his wings involuntarily. His instincts tell him to flee. Night falls, the rain has stopped, and the riverbank is moist and soft. Fa Chao leads his team in search of the red-haired horse's trail, finally arriving at the edge of the river, the exact spot where Getian and Yenisei stayed the night before.
Find anything?
Someone was here. Seems like a horse with a female, tall and thin.
Not a horse, but a foal. Look carefully. The footsteps are smaller and shallower than a horse's. Where are the end of the tracks?
The river beach ahead. The track stopped 3 meters away. We couldn't tell where they went.
That can't be.
Fa Chao strides over to inspect the traces near where the trail of footprints ends.
It rained a couple of times. The rain could have washed away the footprints.
If that's the case, there shouldn't be other tracks here. Like this. A bird's claw marks at the edge of the rotten wood. It was a bird of prey. And judging from the size and the sharpness, it's quite strong.
It's true. Hey, I found another 2 sets of footprints. They're shallow and narrow, possibly from the same person, a young woman.
The wood lies on the ground near the river. It's not a good spot for birds of prey to roost on.
Put 2 and 2 together, my dude.
What stopped here was something even bigger. A young woman met a huge bird of prey here, yet there is no bloodstain at all.
They know there is a big ass bird dude going around for days now. Yet he's still like, oh yeah, a young woman met a huge bird of prey here, yet there is no bloodstain at all.
Perhaps the truth behind the foreign merchant's disappearance is different from the Featherman's statement. We need to go back to the Jitsu.
On the steps, a Lushu stands in place of a girl. The fright of this transformation sends Getian up into the air.
Too late. So it seems her tea can also transform people. I must report this to the authorities. Stay here.
No, you must not leave.
You can speak through the water.
You know what my arcane skill can do.
but I can't maintain it for long. I spend too much energy fighting the Juliers.
I must take leave.
Where are you going? You need to save Madame Besmertz. Please, please, I'm begging you. Please save her. She can't see, and she's still alone in the tavern. She must be in great danger now.
I don't know why, but her acting right here made me well up for some reason. Even though I know Besmet is alright, right? Really good acting.
I have thought about it. Given that my wand was also left in that tavern. But should I return, Jiunyangzi might be alerted. I sense kindness in that girl. She hasn't done anything evil except for turning people into Lushus. Your friend should be safe with her for the moment. The more urgent matter is to spread the word before she further repeats her mistake. I must go find someone to handle this properly.
Please take me with you. They believe you are the one behind the missing persons case now. You'll be turning yourself in if you go alone.
Getian is startled, having never thought such an outcome might occur.
I see. The world outside the mountains is indeed not meant for me to step into.
But you are already involved. Besides, we gave Liu Zhang a drawing of you when I was not clear of the truth.
No matter. I will reason with him.
And he failed.
Even so, you will need me there. Look at my arcane skill. It will be the best proof, right? So they will know that Yenisei is the real culprit who turned the people into horses. I mean, Lushus.
Is that really needed?
He really knows not of the stupidity of the world.
You need to know that you are a suspect. Even though I know you are innocent, you need something absolutely persuasive to prove it. All in all, you must take me with you. My arcane skill will vindicate you.
"17. Jade or stone. What distinguishes a gem from a rock?" Only vagrants and outsiders wander the street on the eve of the Dushu festival. In front of each threshold, sparking fires burn below colorful decorations laid out in the dark night, peering out at each other from across sandy gravel roads that have not yet dried from the rain. Besmet and Yenisei continue their advance towards the Jitsu in the quiet, gentle light.
This place looks so different than it does in the daytime. It's so quiet and empty, as if it's waiting for us.
Yenisei stops to cast her reflection to a puddle of water, attempting to comfort Besmet.
It's nighttime now. They have lit the braziers. There is cloth of different colors around them. Remember our New Year's? We put up tar barrels and made festive fires. There were also decorations on the houses.
Yes, I remember that. Perhaps people here also stay with their families at this time of year, like we do on New Year's Eve. A heartwarming custom.
Yeah.
Shush, quiet.
Besmet stops to listen carefully to the sound. A moment later, a line of night patrolmen pass by from the corner ahead. They march at ease without stopping, clearly ready for the shift change and the chance to get home. It isn't until they disappear completely that Yenisei's figure reappears in the puddle.
The guards here are more reliable than ours in the Empire. At least they don't get drunk on New Year's Eve. Madam, we are close to the Yenisei.
We didn't prepare anything other than these bottles. Don't cast any skills for now. You need to rest. We don't know what's ahead of us. Hold on. I heard something.
Unlike the neat footsteps of a previous patrol, the distant sound they hear this time is of slower and warier footsteps. The woman and the Lushu hurriedly dart into the shadow of the nearby eaves.
Staggering footsteps, almost limping. Sounds like this person just tripped and fell. Or drunk.
Yenisei follows the sound described by Besmet and looks around.
Yenisei? What is she doing here?
She looks weird. Not far from the Junyangzi hobbles along. She takes one step, then pauses, 2 steps, then pauses, and finally stops as she prepares to turn around a narrow alley. She looks completely broken down, as though she has just been into a fight, or perhaps she's just drunk.
Why?
I can hear her talking to herself in the darkness, her voice echoing intermittently against the silent festive street.
Why? No answers for me.
Is she looking answers from gods? Technically, you're the one who should be given answers as a Shangri, but you don't know who you are, I'm guessing.
How long do I have to wait before I...
What is she saying? I don't understand at all. Madam, what about him?
I cannot see whether she's crying or not, but there's a soft sobbing that comes out like a whisper. Even so, she clenches her fists as if tightly gripping something.
Is this a mistake?
Amid her silent sobbing, Junyangzi relaxes her hand. A long object falls from it and into a puddle on the ground.
Oh, she dropped something and left.
Where did she go?
I don't know if she's going to the tavern, but she has left the port. That's for sure. We should go find out what she dropped.
Yenisei's figure disappears from the puddle. She takes 2 steps, turns around, and bites on Basmet's hem, half dragging, half guiding her towards the corner of the alley's entrance, where the light and darkness intersect. Approaching the water, she finally lets go of Basmet and goes around to the other side. Yenisei then lowers her head as though to drink from the puddle and deftly removes a piece of wood from it. She shakes the water of the wooden slab and leans towards Basmet's hand until her friend can grasp it.
It is a wooden chip. Rough surface and some carvings on it. Is this an inscribed text?
Maybe. Please hold it. I'll check the other side. Starting from the round end, there is a person, I guess, at the top. Then there is another person holding a bowl in the middle.
A person holding a bowl in the middle, and then?
Then there is a striped horse at the bottom. What does it mean?
A striped horse. Getian once said that the Lushu has a red mane and the markings of a tiger.
You mean this is a Lushu? But it has no colors. Even if it is a Lushu, why was she crying? From my perspective, Junyangzi is not a bad person. I think she did all these things for a reason. Some kind of burden only known to herself.
If not by accident, then yeah, maybe.
Burden?
I'm only guessing. Since we didn't catch her words clearly, there is no conclusion, madam.
That being said, the two of them fall into a shared silence. Since entering the city, the dark cloud of their uncertain future has followed them like a shadow.
Well, there's no easy answer to any question here. We should meet with Mr. Getian before making any further arrangements.
Sure.
The woman and the Lushu walk forward at a pace. The two increase their speed, arriving outside the grey walls of the Jitsu courtyard before they might be discovered by another team of night patrollers. The streets in this area are built with high walls surrounding their homes on all sides so that people walking by can see nothing but stucked bricks.
Stop here. I hear...
It is at this moment that Getian flies over the Jitsu courtyard's walls. He escaped? His wings flutter lighter than the previous few times, and has no intention of stopping until he notices a figure at the foot of the wall.
Mr. Getian?
Or perhaps he had no intention of staying until he heard Basmet's voice.
It's you.
Getian perches on a tree by the roadside, tightly clutching branches bearing leaves that have only just begun to wither. The tree's shadow sways, but he goes silent, only stopping as he recognizes the two figures below. The ground nearby is flat and long-dried, without a puddle, Yenisei can only grab hold of Besmer's hand but tag on it lightly to confirm her guess. Besmer, though, quickly understands. She listens to the sound and walks forward to one side, eagerly reaching around beneath a tree.
Mr. Getian,
Why are you here?
did they let you go? Have you seen Yenisei? She was on the street just now.
Whatever speculation you're making, I am leaving.
Leaving? Are you going after her?
No, I was not meant to be here in the first place. It's only natural that I should return to the mountain.
Take us with you.
Return? But we're not done with Yenisei yet. Yenisei and the others are still in the shape of Lushu. She was turned into a Lushu in front of you. Are you going to just let her be?
She has told you everything.
Yes, she did. Now you're the only one who can persuade others to go after Yenisei. We are foreigners here. People won't listen to us.
Girl, they didn't believe him either.
I am left with no other options. Today at the Zhizi, none of us would have gotten away if I hadn't surrendered.
This is a fact that as an observer of the entire scene, Yenisei cannot deny.
They will only see me as a greater threat if I insist on raising doubts about her. They have known her for a long time, but know nothing about me. My words have no greater effect than yours, for I'm also a foreigner here.
His voice is light, but as gloomy as the night.
Still, you're going to just give it all up before exhausting every possible way to end this?
A wave of swaying tree shadows causes Getian to fly up on alert. He seems to have finally made up his mind to
You
leave.
need not break my pride. Getians and Miemengs are never meant to get involved in this.
Dude, don't get offended. Before a response is issued, the sound of rhythmic footsteps sounds one after another. Whether it is a patrol or some other city personnel, it is enough to immediately alert the vigilant trio. Getian, though, does not leave. His actions are seemingly not in line with his tongue.
There are people coming.
I knew it.
A bold and imposing voice sounds out from the spot the footsteps had been moving toward.
You two are in it together. The merchant identity was only an excuse you made up to enter the city. Isn't that so?
No, please listen to me.
The stories you told Li Jung made no sense at all. How dare you come back like you did nothing and break into the jail?
You go first.
Mr. Getian!
Besmet intuits that she shouldn't just run away. At that moment, the only one who can help her confirm her assumption is Getian. The one being sought for help does not make a sound. He dives from the tree, spreading his wings to cast an immense shadow over the scene. He flies between the patrol and Besmet, turning his back to them, then spreads his wings even wider until he completely blocks the view of those behind him. At this moment, he truly seems like a bird of prey.
Lushus are fleet-footed creatures. Get on her back and leave. I'll join you shortly.
But you said...
Go! Don't you run! Catch them!
Dude, he's difficult, but he's sweet. Anyway, I'll be back. Thanks to Getian's cover, the two successfully run from the neighborhood and arrive at the shallow shore on the city outskirts, where Yenisei has now stopped twice before. At this moment, the night seems to have become even darker, without a single star to light the sky, and only faint moonlight trails scattered across the riverbank.
It's been quite a while. Is he?
Yenisei cannot help but think of Getian's experience at the Jutsu that same morning.
Have faith in him, child. He is able to defend himself, since he managed to escape without others' help. I believe he is not aggressive. He left his wand behind when he tried to save you.
A long period of waiting, pregnant with anxiety, is finally broken by the sound of flapping wings. Whoever thought to use the phrase pregnant with anxiety needs prison? Like, why would you do that?
Madam!
Getian crosses over them and stops along the twisted vines, folding his wings and tightly gripping the edges of the tree with his talons. The garment on his head must have split during his fight, and now fully reveals his previously covered expression, one both baffled and tense.
You're here. You seem fine. Do you still intend to leave? Or have you changed your mind?
Besmet follows the sound of movement, turning her head towards where Getian landed.
No. I'm here for one last thing. When I was imprisoned in Zhici, I heard that Jiu Nyangzi would hold a banquet at the tavern tonight, and the Fa Cao was also invited. I'll take the opportunity and get those half-lushus out of there.
Please wait a second, sir.
Yes?
We're not going anywhere. We must release them from the arcane skill and bring them back.
If you don't flee tonight, I'm afraid there will be no better chance for you to leave. Though her true intention is beyond my speculation, I fear the consequences of her action will be severe.
You know full well the consequences.
Certainly.
But you won't help us stop her.
That is not my problem to address. I have done my part.
Then why did you help us get rid of the soldiers and offered to help again?
This question surprises Getian. He had never thought about it until that moment. He lifts his wings, forming a posture similar to cupping his face, sinking into contemplation. It was instinct. He held by instinct. Like, when somebody's in danger, the first thought somebody can have is either run or defend whoever is in trouble, I'm guessing. After a moment, he conjures up an explanation.
It doesn't suggest my further involvement in this matter.
You are contradicting your own words, sir.
Getian lowers his head and looks towards the drying earth near the embankment out across the river's calm surface.
Very well. I'll put it differently. Look at the street. It is empty tonight. There was a time when people sent lanterns down the river on New Year's Eve. Even the simplest lantern would glow like the moon on the water. Those lanterns, carrying people's wishes, floated down the river. The further they went, the more wishes were granted. Some would cast arcane skills on their lanterns to keep them from getting wet. But most of the lanterns still disappeared in the depths of the mountains or at the waterfalls. I used to look down at the city from the mountaintop, watching those lanterns float down the streams and merge into a light belt in the dark. They were more brilliant and vibrant than the bonfires that were lit up all night in this city.
The Lushu follows Gutian's gaze and looks towards the river, only to see the bare and narrowing river looking more and more like a stream in her eyes. The sad reality of the present makes it difficult to imagine the scene described in Gutian's words, despite the nostalgia overflowing from his tone. Besmet feels it too, but the safety of her companions remain a constant concern in her mind.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean. Time is against us.
Now the river has dried up, and the water no longer has vitality. Rainfall is getting scarce, accelerating the dying process.
Perhaps this is why Ju is doing all that. Perhaps she tried to use her arcane skill to bring life back to the rivers. I don't know what else to think.
What was given does not compensate for what was lost. So people no longer show up by the river and send their wishes at night. And I have lost my opportunity to watch the light belt. Even so, to this day, I haven't fully understood why I was impelled to leave the mountain. I once thought I couldn't bear the sight of those humans being turned into other creatures.
And now you think it's no longer worth the effort to put things back in order?
Yes. You people are no more than passengers in my life, drifting past me like those lanterns in the river. What's more, what is my purpose here if the gods of Sheti they serve don't intend to intervene?
Getian's words are so full of perplexity that they are almost painful. He poses questions like cutting meat to feed a tiger, knowing that there will be no reward after throwing them out, but still he insists. Yenisei, who has been silent on one side for a long time, seems to understand his feelings, and so she continues to remain silent, only looking at the pitch-black surface of the river. The river too looks back with its own quiet babble.
The lights in the river are gone, and there will be no more in the future.
Yenisei gazes at her reflection of Lushu. It isn't until Getian says there will be no more that she suddenly lifts her hooves and steps into the silent river.
What is she doing?
Of course, Buzzmet can also hear the sound of her entering the water, but she only shakes her head. She knows what the girl is going to do. The moment has arrived for her to offer her assistance.
Even shallow water could also be dangerous. She...
Trust her. She knows what she's doing.
The water begins to engulf half of Yenisei's body. At the same time, her song begins. I don't know why, but when she started humming, I thought of a song, What If God Was One of Us? I don't know why.
What is this?
Colorful dots of light suddenly ignited in the narrow river in front of them, burning like intense flames along the water's surface. Then the dots of light mingled to the soft riverbank, drifting with the song, like travelers on the long river, journeying without end. The place where the light passes through now shines brighter than all the decorations in the city streets, more than many years' worth of river lanterns that had passed through the mountains.
There are river lanterns. Yes? I can't see them, but I can feel the light. Are you appreciating them with your own eyes?
I don't.
Faced with such a scene, Getian is struck dumb. He can sense Yenisei's arcanist origins in her bones, but he cannot even begin to imagine what is happening at the moment.
Mr. Getian, the fact is, you've seen too many people and grown attached to too many things since you left the mountain. They float in your mind, glistening like the river lanterns. And you're saddened by the idea that they will be gone one day, like the lanterns drifting away from your sight. But have you thought that those bright, agile and hope-rising flakes of light would gleam once again? The path of destiny is not always a dead end. It's too soon to give up, Mr. Getian. Here. It is your wand. Put it away, and please give this another thought.